Boom, Lycan King here in the Ring TV. We're here with Rob Lee, good friend of mine, homie, in Southern California at the Bully Market. Of course, we're at the facility. We're not at the In the Ring facility. I am in Cali. You know, you can see with the trophies where I'm at. There's a lot of paintings. I'll paint around later so you guys can check all them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's up, Rob? How you doing, brother?
Oh man, all good. Nice to have you out here once again.
Bam, I always love it. Every time I'm in Cali, I try to stop by, so it's a good time, you know?
Yeah, I think the last time I saw you was Cancun.
Yeah, Cancun.
Was it?
Cancun was the last time.
A few years ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had that little break.
It was a good time, though.
Oh, it definitely was a good time.
That was pretty legendary.
It was a good time. Yeah, that was definitely legendary. The beard wax.
Beard wax. All day.
Oh, man. Yeah, bro. But, yeah, you know, we've been to a lot of shows together. We've been at different places, all that good stuff. But, you know, we're here at the facility, so we came to check out the dogs, hear a lot about the backlog of your kennel, what you guys did, the whole nine. Because, you know, with the show, we're also trying to bring history and past with people. And we're trying to also really put a name to face with some of the big name dogs and people they see. And that's what we're here for, you know, trying to dig out everybody I can. Yeah. We'll get to the new guys later on down the road, a couple years maybe. But for right now, I'm doing all my, you know, people I know that was there for a while.
Yeah.
And you know, you've been around. You created a whole situation with your kennel and everything. It was more than just the dogs, you know, what you did. Tell us a little bit how you got into the dogs.
It was, you know, I just moved out and my first dog was a pit bull when I was 17, 18 years old. And from there, I just took a very strong interest into the, at the time, pit bull.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wanted to breed, but I lived in an apartment.
Okay.
And my little dog wasn't papered or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's a regular pit bull, got from one of the homies.
Bam.
$80 he owed me, and had to
Dog
cancel
was a
that
change,
debt. Let me get that pup. She was nice, but yeah, she actually just passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
She lived to be
sorry to hear.
almost like 15.
Yeah. Them old pits could go forever, man. It's something about them. They just don't die out young. They go forever.
Yeah, that's crazy. And actually, she didn't even die of old age. She left the property and got hit by a car.
Oh yeah, so, yeah, that's even it. Yeah,
it's crazy. She was on her way out.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was just, you know, an interest in the pit bulls initially, and then, you know, I was going to a friend's house who I would go visit regularly, and he had a blue nose pit.
Yeah,
and one day I went over there, and he had about 15 different types of dogs.
They stood out instantly to you.
They stood out. They stood out as being different from his, you know, blue that he had.
Yeah.
And
because blue was the initial big movement. Everybody just seen the dogs. They were just happy with the coat color,
right,
and the blues and all them. Because even like old guys like Ray from Certified, he used to document when he first had his whole full blue on blue litter and shit like that.
Right.
So like stuff like that was crazy. So I get what you mean when you're saying his blue stuff to seeing something that looked a little more different.
Different for sure. And his blue dog, his name was Dracula.
Okay.
And fucker was mean.
Yeah.
So this time, so when I would look at Dracula in the backyard, he'd always be really kind of going crazy, barking and doing all sorts of stuff. But then I went over there and one of these days, and I looked in the backyard, and I looked at about 15 dogs, all just hanging out together, chilling. Some playing together, some just laying on their bellies, some walking around. There was a few sitting in buckets of water about chest deep. And I was just like, what's this, bro? Like, what's going on, you know? And he was like, oh, they're bullies. And I'm getting into breeding. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was just about to, like, buy some blue noses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man, you know, like, my homie's showed me all about bullies and blah blah blah. And that's like when I found out about bullies.
Yeah.
And like, this is my little pit bull right here.
Oh yeah.
This is my little pit bull. I don't know if the
we can see it.
if the camera can see that, but pretty regular.
Yeah.
And I had another one after her, who was very similar to her.
Yeah.
But a little bit more thicker and more bone.
Okay.
But very similar.
Yeah.
But I like the one that was a little bit thicker, a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know? And so then when I saw these bullies with all this more bone and head, I was like very interested in it and intrigued by it. You know, because, at the time, you know, when I would type in the dogs back in the day, Mugglestons would always be the...
Yeah, he did a lot of big promotion, Muggleston, and a lot of people was hitting his stuff. And, you know, for that time period, he was standing out on his promotional status and stuff like that. Like, because then there was a lot of, like, the red lines, the boards and all that stuff that was dedicated to the stuff, the top 50 pit bull, all that crazy different things.
Well...
And he always stayed in the top of, like, them trends. Like, back at that time, the MSN boards were there.
Right.
And stuff like that, you know.
Well, and the dogs that people were after... You know, people wanted bigger dogs.
Bigger dogs, yeah, because it was a big dog game. It was back then. It was a big,
including myself. I thought I wanted bigger dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was looking at Mugglestons, I'm seeing 120-pound monster.
Yeah,
you know,
Lobo and all them dogs and
stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at some of these dogs, thinking about making an acquisition, thinking, okay, like these guys are at the top of Google. These guys athletes are coming and buying their dogs. Their dogs are like 5, 10, 20,000. They must be the best. Yeah. You know what I mean? And and no disrespect to Mugglestons, but I linked up with my homie and he was like, let me show you some other stuff.
Bam.
And he ended up so to rewind a little bit, the homie that had all the dogs in the backyard, he said, let me introduce you to the homie. And that was when I was reintroduced to Big Rich Patterson.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was, what I knew him from was being a security guard. At Oceanside High.
Okay.
I'd be on the lookout for that motherfucker when I was trying to take a leap over the wall and get a little ditch going, I had to look out for Big Rich.
Oh yeah.
He was a stickler. He wasn't trying to let nobody get away with anything.
Nah, and a lot of people, I know Rich a different way, so I didn't even know about the security guard thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That blows my mind.
So,
I know Rich from ADBA shows because he used to be heavy with the Game Dog stuff.
Right.
So I used to see Rich come out to the Jersey shows and other areas we would see and link up. And then I think I even still have like one of his flight jackets that has like the stitched pitbull and reversible. But Rich was there then. He had a lot of stuff and he was out. But he's a knowledgeable dude. He knows knowledge because he knows dogs.
Yes,
and
exactly.
He's cool. He's like so cool. He'll talk to you anytime, anyway, any place. And like, Rich was much respected. Rich, he's a cool dude. I like him a lot. Yeah, it's crazy. You know him and everything like that. It's a small world. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what when I was introduced to Rich as the guy to show me about dogs, I was like, oh, okay, like it's kind of an interesting shift in the dynamic of our relationship because he was like the ops. For me, I was like always trying to get away with shit in high school. Like, man, can't let Big Rich see what I'm doing. But once it came down to working together, he was. He is a super knowledgeable guy, and he did come from some of that ADBA Game Dog background, and so when it comes to a lot of the things that he instilled in me, being mentored by him, it was a lot of structure and health and stuff that has stuck with me.
Okay.
But yeah, Big Rich at the time. He owned King Louis, and King Louis was the littermate brother to Homie.
Homie, all right.
You know, and I was getting a couple dogs. You know, I had acquired a couple females. I had a male off of male named Spike off of Nemesis and a Manu daughter.
Okay.
And he was a nice dog, good blood. But I was still like, you know, he's cool. This is what I told Rich. I said, you know, I like him. He's cool. I appreciate you putting me on to this dog and then some of these other dogs. And I said, but I'm still looking for a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't really know anybody in the game.
Yeah.
And he knew everybody.
Yeah.
Because the little jacket that you talk about, he had a whole booth where he's setting up all his gear.
All his gear, everything.
And so at all these shows, he's meeting everybody. And he's like before there was Bullypedia, he would write out all the pedigrees. He'd ask you how your dog is bred, and he'll have that shit.
Yeah.
Write it down. And so he would know a lot of shit in his head.
Yeah.
And, you know, so when it came to finding some dogs for me, he was a good...
right there. Key person. That's a definite key person.
Yeah.
He was all over, too. He was all over the country. So that's a big thing, too, because he's meeting people all over the place. And like I said, I'm all in the East Coast, and I met him over there. So it's like crazy. The touches when everybody there to here. So like you said, he had an unlimited amount of connects. So, yeah. But after, like, what spawned out of that? Like, once you... What took you to the next step in that whole equation?
Well, when I told him, hey, I like these dogs, but I want to go level it up even a notch, you know, because he's explaining to me the pedigrees on these dogs, how they're going to produce. I'm like, for sure, like, I trust you, but like, I want something even more heavy hitter of a male. And I asked him, if money's not an issue and we could get any dog, what dog would you get? And he thought for about 2 or 3 seconds, and he was like, I would get Homie. Yeah. Just like that. I would get Homie.
Yeah.
And I was like, bet. Let's line up so I could see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He introduced me to Dave and Steve.
Okay.
Dogtown Pits.
Yeah.
And I got to see Homie for the first time.
And you were like,
Dog got off the truck, and he gated him towards me. And I didn't even know what movement was back then. But it was something about the way that dog was moving towards me and away from me. I was like, damn. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm looking for right here. And, you know, I purchased the dog and then start going to some shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Start producing some dogs. At the time, they had done one breeding with Homie.
Okay.
And so they pulled out, you know, Lock and Load at a show. I was like, damn. I was like, he's like a miniature version of Homie.
Oh, yeah. So they were already starting to advance Homie to the next step by shortening him and making him
they
smaller.
line bred Homie back to his mom's littermate sister. Mm-hmm. And all the dogs were big.
Yeah.
Bigger dogs. Except for LL. And he was like the runt.
Yeah.
He was small. And so he was the one phenotype that went that direction.
Yeah.
Really. But I was like, how much for that one? You know, I gotta have that dog.
Yeah.
He's like, he looks just like Homie, and he's a smaller version. I already like the like smaller version. I was visually I was like already appreciating that more. I still was into the bigger dog,
but you wanted to go there.
But I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I like that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because he's more square.
Yeah.
So I naturally kind of gravitated towards that. You know, and from there, you know, I was doing some breedings, doing some showing.
So you acquired Lock and Load.
I acquired Lock and Load.
A lot of people know that, so that's good.
Yeah.
Now.
So, and I got them I acquired Lock and Load from the same people that I got Homie.
Man.
And then Homie came from Sammy Santana from Concrete Pits.
Okay.
Who had Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
And produced Heartbreaker.
Yep. Beautiful.
So yeah, he took one of Heartbreaker's littermate sisters to Thing.
The Thing.
And this is all Southern California stuff.
Yeah. It's
Manu, Nemesis, Thing.
I'd say all that is in there.
All that's down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just some good fire like foundation shit for down here for the area, and it was what we decided to roll with.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So then at that portion, is that when you bred Lock and Load to produce?
So
I'll let you say it. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you said Lock and Load produced. So Lock and Load's first breeding was to Lolo.
Yep.
And that was to produce Bistro.
Bam.
And but I didn't own Lolo. So again, we at the time I'm still working on building up my yard.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I had known the owner of Lolo, which is Noy from My Style Bullies. I think he still does Frenchies, but he stopped doing bullies after Bistro, I think. But at the time, he had a bitch named Lolo who was throwing down some fire productions.
Yeah.
And she was bred to Hindu, Thing,
I was about to say.
Heart, Voodoo, the Heartbreaker son, Heartbreaker Melly.
Yep. He went down the normal tops, the regular hard hitting Southern California.
Yeah, and she was throwing fire. I had a male off of her, who was nice, but yeah, I still was looking to like acquire something off of Lolo.
Yeah. Ultimately,
because I have seen what she produced, and one time Noy hit me up and was like, what do you think about because we would just talk. We would just call and talk dogs. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things you would call talking dogs, and
he has normal stuff like everything else, like normal. All of us do.
And he asked, "What? I was thinking about breeding Lolo to Nemesis. What do you think about that?" And I don't know if he actually, if that was his way of like getting me to suggest Lock and Load, or if he genuinely wanted to know my thoughts, because I was like, man, I think Nemesis would be fire. It's already hit with she already hit with this, that, and the third.
Yeah, already hit with the Nemesis blood down.
It's going to bang with this, of course. I said, but Lock and Load is 2 times Nemesis.
Bam.
And then right up front, and he's more of the compact style that you're breeding for.
Yeah.
So why don't you use LL? And he had never been bred, but he was like, shit. He was like, you know what? That would probably be pretty cool. He was like, how much will you give me the breeding for? And I forget if I said like $500 or $1,000, and I was like, I just want to get a female off of your dog.
Yeah. So you could keep pressing it the way you need to, or something.
Yeah, I was getting into breeding. Read a book that was like, go buy the best producing bitch that you could get. Mm-hmm. If you can't buy the best producing bitch, get a daughter off of her.
Exactly.
So I was like committed to doing a breeding to this with Lolo, so I could get a bitch off Lolo.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I sell my puppies for $5,000. So give me $1,000, and then I'll give you the first pick female.
All right.
So I in a way I kind of paid a bitch fee.
Yeah, 100%. But sometimes when you're going after that dog, you got to do something like that.
And exactly, I was just brand new.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to make things happen with the assets that I got.
Yeah.
I just acquired Homie, and I just acquired Lock and Load. Obviously, believe in this line. You know what I mean? For being something.
You needed a female off of that to ranch.
So I'm like, yeah, it's not like I'm sitting with a whole yard full of dogs to breed to. I kind of went backwards where I started out, where I got a couple females, but I wanted like some fire males. You know what I mean? So I could show and get the attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the showstopper situation. You want that.
You know? But
at the time, that was the most important thing. You needed to walk in the store. You needed to walk in the show and drop draws. That's how people were selling studs right away. The cameras were going crazy. It was like paparazzi all over.
Yeah.
And you know, that was the big niche. You know, you don't see a lot of that nowadays, but back in the day, that was huge. So I get what you're saying. So how did it go? How did the breeding obviously went down?
The breeding went down.
But how did it go from a female to ending up with Bistro? How did that situation go there? How did it go from a female to Bistro?
That was a tough, expensive lesson that was learned there. So, you know, my female, she was nice, but yeah, the time came for the puppies, and you know they were born, and he let me know there was like 5. He's sending me pictures. Day 1, he's like, bro, he's like, these puppies look different, and then especially this one. And he sent me this little try, and he described him. He looked like a bottlenose dolphin because his little head popped up like that. And he's like, she hasn't produced any puppies like that yet. And I was like, okay, you know. So we were joking, bottlenose dolphin there for a little while. And then they grew, and they hit like the 2-week range. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yo, you got to come see these puppies. They're crazy.
Bam.
Yeah, he's like, but when you see the males, you're going to forget all about the females. And I was like, dang, you know, so just in anticipation, you know, excited to go see what they look like.
Boom.
I go look, and man, sure enough, like there's a couple crazy males in there. There's really 3 really nice males, but there's one in particular that's just like
stands out.
Yeah, bro. And immediately, I was like, Dad, I want this puppy right here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, asking him. It was just they were 2 weeks old, and I hadn't seen a lot of puppies at the time.
Yeah.
But he was the most insane puppy I ever seen.
That's
and
crazy.
Still to this day, my girl will ask me, like, when we got a crazy puppy, she'll be like, I'll be like, yeah, this puppy's pretty nice. He's crazy. She'll be like, is he Bistro nice? I'll be like, nah. Bistro was a different puppy. And I don't know if it's just like, you know, when you're little and you think back to the house you used to live in, and it seems so fucking big.
Yeah.
And then you go back and it's like, oh shit, it's not that big. Yeah. I don't know if it's like that with Bistro or what. I'm gonna see when we get the clone.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, when at the moment I saw Noi and I was just like, yo, bro, let me buy this dog.
Yeah.
Like, let me get the male. I'll buy him off you. I held him up. I said, let me make this dude a legend.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just shut me down. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna sell him. He's gonna be like my foundation of my kennel.
Boom.
Like, this is one of the best puppies Lolo's ever made. And she had already made some fucking banging dogs, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, all right, you know, go back. I lived about an hour away, North San Diego. He was near the border. And then I came back around, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, go get my puppy. Nice little bitch, named her Sally. And he still wasn't trying to sell Bistro. Yeah. Offered him a nice little bag, off the rip, and
still no go.
It was a no go. But then about 5 months, when Bistro was about 5 months, he called me and just asked me, "Hey, are you still interested in buying Bistro?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still interested in." And basically, the offer I had made still stand. It's a 10-piece. I offered him 10 for the puppy off the rip.
Yeah.
I was
when you see it, you know you can make off it. And it goes out crazy too. Plus, if he's already selling at that number, you got to double up high to see where it's at to get it.
Yeah.
So you got Bistro then. So that's at the point the transaction. So Bistro really came to you around like 6 months then.
Yeah, he was about 5.5 months. Like when I got him, I was taking. Well, yeah, he was even maybe. Yeah, he was about 5 months because then we got him. I was living up north at the time.
Yeah.
And then one of the first shows that we took him to was an RKC show.
Okay.
And actually, he was only 5.5 months old.
Yeah.
But they were like, enter him in the puppy class. And he won best in show.
Yeah.
At the whole RKC show. That's and it was crazy because, like I was saying earlier, you know, I didn't have no one, no big team. I wasn't part of
no, you were group. Just part of it yourself, you know, and that's when it was big groups were big back then because you say RKC, that was the whole Remy Line family and Fabian and all them with that. So you had that going.
And Remy Line was big back then.
And it was big, that's what I mean, because it was them, you had the EE,
a lot of
you
people
had
were tattooing that
you had
shit.
a lot of different shit. You had the Lounge, you had True Tank, you had all them different crews, because it was all crew-based back then.
All
that's
crew-based.
How it was.
Well, at the end of that show, not to cut you off, I just got to say, he won. The best in show was based on a people's choice.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here thinking, damn, there's no way that he's going to win this.
Yeah.
You know, he won going up, but then at the end they did people's choice. I didn't have anybody but myself and I think my brother there. Bro, the crowd went crazy.
For him,
crazy loud.
That's
and
amazing.
They gave him the best in show.
And that's all that matters. I mean, he's always an impressive dog. I remember seeing him numerous occasions from when he, you know, come all the way up through to even when he was retired here. He still looked good, like he was ready to go at any moment.
Yeah.
You know, he went on to winning crazy in the ring, you know. You guys had him all over the country and then the world showing him. You had him in numerous amounts of shows all over the place. How many top dogs did he get through America? He got, 2 top dogs through ABKC back-to-back or something, right?
Yeah.
The top 10. So you had the top dog for 2 years in a row. What was that? Bus got the other top dog over there? Or was that?
Yeah, but Bistro.
Bistro had the 2, right?
Yeah, he got 2. He almost had 3.
Yeah.
But he was number 2 ranked in 2012.
12, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had the 2 back-to-back. And then
13 and 14.
13 and 14. That was numerous amount. You guys were showing them all over. But then you were also doing, you know, when you refer to dogs that like set the trend, there's certain dogs that are great show dogs, great situations, and there's other dogs like, you know, when people think of crazy dogs in the industry, they think of Little Row, of course, because he was like an international star fame from doing all the different things in Hollywood, you know, wherever they took him. But Little Row still was mainly U.S. based. Where you took that and blew it up to worldwide, having this dude in Cancun, out by the Coliseum, like all that crazy shit. You had this dude all over the place, and that just, you know, in the general public aspect, that was huge in that MaxBook and marketing tactic. So, you know, that was crazy thinking that way around too. So that was a big thing. You know, what made you decide like to really go like that? Because even Nemesis back in them days, I remember. What's the name? Pratt used to carry a Nemesis in a crate. People used to be like, why is he bringing a crate through there? But then a crowd was following because they wanted to see what was coming out when he put the crate down. And then Nemesis would step out, you know?
Right.
That's how they used to bring Nemesis in. Let him be a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Put him back in the crate and carry him out. I was like, dude, that shit was... I was like, what the fuck? But meanwhile, the aspect and what it hit was crazy because everything was a market technique in the beginning. All of us used to do stuff like that, you know?
Right.
But... you know, that led to like huge things doing that with Bistro and stuff. And I'm always glad to see my friends do good, but anything good for the breed. If you're happy with helping, you know, create something or something involved, you want to see it blossom bigger past just us breeders.
Right.
And that stuff was huge because a lot of that's documented photos all over the place with that, all over.
Right.
You know? So, after that now, you step into Bus. Well, no, not even that. The clone part about Bistro. You guys are trying to clone Bistro, right?
We're cloning Bistro.
Cloning Bistro, right? That's what I'm saying.
Let's
hear a little bit of that.
His cells are on ice.
Okay.
You know, and whenever we decide that it's time to bring back Bistro 2, you know, that time will come.
Yeah.
But as of now, we have his cells, not semen, but his actual cells. From a biopsy. Yep. And they did the culture, and they got everything they need in order to
set it forward to build another one.
Yeah, not only one, but you know, maybe more.
Multiples.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. That'd be a whole nother episode.
That'll be
that, and that'll be crazy. So we'll see that for another route. But that's crazy. You're gonna even clone them. Yeah. You know, technology's there, so why not use it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now let's move on to the bus.
Yeah.
All right. Now the bus is off of
Widget.
Yup.
And then Bistro.
Boom, right there. Yeah. So right there, Bus is a phenomenal dog. I mean, I even tried breeding to him before he passed. And, you know, because I like dogs with high drive, and it looks great. And then that dude, to me, always, every time we bought him out, just wow. Just like how Bistro did.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was just a different set in his mindset, to me, to what he looked like.
Yeah.
And then when you put him away, and then all of a sudden ball him out in Chicago and blast the Nationals and a national win, that was huge, bro. I was, like, happy I was there to see it.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That was... definitely a good
What was the whole twist between that? Why put him away, then bring him back out? Like,
yeah, you know, we actually had a lot of things going on. When you mentioned Bistro going international, he only actually showed internationally on one occasion, and that was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Actually, he did that on multiple occasions.
In Mexico.
Yeah. But when he went to Cancun and when he went to the Colosseum and Rome and Italy and places like that, he was as more of a special guest.
Yeah.
And I was doing judging.
Yeah, because that was the EBKC show when he was in the Coliseum, right? When he was out there.
No, that was actually for an ABKC show.
Okay.
We did in Verona. I did end up judging for the EBKC in Holland years down the road.
Yeah.
But basically,
Bistros is more or less special guesting. But I know and I remember I definitely was there. You know, I remember the Mexico shows, him in the ring and everything like that.
Mexico City and everything. So that was huge. But yeah, like you said, he was a star. So people wanted to see him out there. The dude was like, you know, when you seen a dog rack up that much across the states, because to me, that proves a dog as a true champion. When you're showing them not just in your area, but across other areas where you come across opposite competition, dogs you may not see day to day, and continuing winning, that just emboldens his champion and grand champ or top dog even harder to me, because you did that instead of just like, okay, I can go to 10 shows locally and I'm going to roll it out or something like that. You know what I mean? No, we definitely set out to challenge the best in all regions. That was a main objective. For me, in the beginning with our dogs, like I said, I didn't have a background with any other people like putting me on.
Yeah.
I just kind of found the bully world, and so I had to put in the work to get recognized for my dogs to be recognized as being, you know, elite, because I wasn't known as a source. But yeah, so you know, by the time we were doing that with Bistro, and Bistro was coming towards the end of his shows, I was doing the judging. And so between judging, getting this place,
crazy facility, you guys will see that. We have video of all that crazy facility out here. I love it here.
Well, and we're gonna be, you know, I still got a lot of development to do here. The other facilities, you know, the ideal for the dogs at this moment, I'm gonna duplicate that here, in the front and the back.
Yeah, and we went there. He took us to your brother Nubs because he's part of the whole thing. You know, you, Nubs, your wife, the whole crew of you guys with the bully market. It's all family oriented, but it works great. It works great. Like seeing it, the promo sides, and seeing everything you guys do, and how, you know, Nubs takes it off and runs around and shows, or you show, and everybody picks up on everything. It's the perfect way on how a kennel should work like that. Yeah,
you gotta have the if you're trying to do it on your own, I mean, it's gonna be tough. You don't get any of the necessary breaks or ability to go and do the things if it's just you know. So you gotta kind of assemble a team, and you know, when it came to Bus and having a little bit of a break, it just kind of fit. You know, for what we were doing is like we had a lot of we accomplished multiple top dogs in a row.
Yeah.
You know,
Bus was what, 2015 or something, right?
Bus was 2015.
Yeah, so that was right. So you had 13, 14, and then 15,
and
all the way across.
And then 12 we had the number 2 dog.
Yeah.
So bro, that was
a lot of years in a row.
4 years of straight up campaigning.
Crazy.
I'm talking a lot of personal sacrifices were made in order to make that type of shit happen.
Oh yeah, because you know Nubs was literally on the road 24/7. Like, it seemed like why he was going, like all the shows everywhere is up and down, moving back and forth. Like,
it was crazy.
It was crazy
financially. The energy output, the focus that had to be there. Yeah. To devise a winning campaign, because I wasn't just sending dogs anywhere.
Yeah.
I was strategizing on how to get the results that I wanted to get. And so, it was just the right time to sit them down.
Yeah.
And to take that break and to focus on things here, and some different goals that we were looking at.
Yeah.
And basically, when the time came for the show, I was just thinking, okay, he's looking good.
Yeah.
He's a little out of shape.
Bam.
Let's get him into shape. And yeah, like I wasn't really thinking about going a lot, but then
because you hit us last minute to see where we were staying at WBA, because you stayed at the Hard Rock with us and everything. Like
yeah, it was kind of like, I wasn't planning on going, but then people were like, "Yo, you should go.
Yeah,
you should go," and I was like, "Eh," and I didn't say anything, but the more people hit me up about it, and I was like, I started thinking about it. And I was like, he does look good. Rolando has picked him before.
Bam.
You know what I mean? He likes him.
Yeah.
So.
Because the dog moves great. He has the build, the head, everything like that. He's a complete package. He's a complete package.
Yeah, because if I go show, I want to make sure that I feel like I'm going to get a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Some of them out there, I just wouldn't show them because I didn't feel like they're going to give my dog a fair assessment.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
And that's why that's why you go to different shows. You look at the judge lineup and you go to the shows to match. And that's like an old trick from way back in the day. AKC, UKC, even ABA still does that till today. You're like, oh, these judges, they don't like my look. Let me go here. Because judges were supposed to have a look, too, within their breed standard.
Right.
Not like, some of the new judges, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And when he was there, he looked great. I ain't gonna lie, he looked good there, bro. He was like, I was like, wow, man. I was like, fuck, you know what I mean? And then when he was going all the way through, and I was like, we were chanting, he was in there, and then boom, he won. I was like, that was great. I was like, damn. I was like, fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was we retired him after, and then that was the one show I came back.
Yeah.
After about more than a year of not showing. For me personally.
Yeah.
And then, after
and come back to the hard crush on him, bro.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, I didn't make any announcements. Just kind of showed up stealth mode.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people that seemed very surprised to see me there.
Oh, they were. People were like left and right on it, and I was like, what? Huh? What? I was just like, I don't know what you're talking. Well, you guys always talk. You guys are chanting. You guys are. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know nothing. Yeah. But. Sometimes you have to play them games like that, man. Sometimes the chess moves is better than checkers, and these fools don't understand that. They're so checker-based, they don't understand the game of chess. Yeah. And sometimes you might have to do that. Like, they're like, some of these people are like, no, I have to show. Why? Let your dog chill for a second. Get yourself together, relax, break, come back. Let them not see the dog for a little bit. Have no eyes out. They're seeing this dog every day in and out. There's no wow factor to it. Then all of a sudden, pop them back out.
That's another thing, too.
And people don't do that. People are so busy, like, oh, just have this dog in constantly. And not every dog's a show dog. Like we were talking about last night. I mean, because a lot of times people don't realize that. Like when I first landed here, it wasn't like, yo, we pull out the camera, let's start filming. We were outside talking for hours, just like catching up, talking about like the future of the breed, the dogs, the different avenues and shit like that. And the main thing we really talked about is like how there's levels to it. Pet quality, yard quality, dog you bring to the booth for wow factor, and then an actual dog you put in the ring.
Yeah.
If your dog don't step all the way up, it's fine for him to be at them other tiers, but don't force it. Sometimes people take that pet quality and move it to the top. It's not for the ring. Yeah. You can't blame the judges after that or the show host because you can't see what you have in your own self. Same thing with there's nothing wrong with having a dog, a female in your yard or a male in your yard that just don't look oppressive. He can breed and produce some crazy stuff for you that it would work in the long run compared to just sitting there on it.
Yeah.
And then there's always that dog that might have one or two little faults or a little too extreme. And you're like, you still bring them to the show, but that's just for people like, oh, fuck, look at that thing walking around,
Right.
And then they breed to it. And then, of course, the show dog, the show dog has to be, to me, flawless. It has to have movement. It has to have everything else. It has to be flawless,
Yeah, well, and I think that what you just said cannot be overstated. And so for the listeners,
boom,
don't let that one go over your head. The 4 tiers that he just mentioned is pet quality, a dog then that is breed quality, but you don't bring it to the show. You don't even
post it in this.
You don't post it.
Nada.
It's just you're using it for a reason. It's a breeding tool. It's going to get you to the next generation.
You almost, when puppies pop out, people are like, where the hell did you get this female from who produced this? Or this male? Like, some home stuff, you know what I mean? That's when we talk about when we're in the lab. In the lab means that people don't understand that. We're like, yo, I'm in the lab right now.
Exactly.
It don't mean we're saying, we're literally like this.
Yeah.
So these ones I'm turning in here, you might not see these nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like these 2 formulas are like, hey, you're over here, buddy. Like,
exactly.
But that's what we mean when we're in the lab, you guys. Not like, oh, I just picked 2 breedings and you're already posting in the dogs are not even heat yet. That's not in the lab. That's you trying to get gassed up. Like, in the lab is like the pups are already on the ground. They're already like 6 months and I ain't even decided to sell yet because I'm still thinking about which ones is keeping and not. Like,
exactly.
Like, they don't understand, and that's what they have to do. And even to me at the show quality stuff, you might have a dog that show qualities that, just makes it but has a little flaws. When he gets a champ, stop him. Don't let him keep going. Like, because then you can bring him out as a champ and winning instead of like him going in the grand champ, losing 10 shows before he wins the show. Now he lost his whole credibility, and then the dog is just washed up,
Well, I definitely think that people should be mindful of the moves that they're making with dogs, specifically, especially if they're wanting to monetize and sell offsprings off of them or studs. Because, if you post a bad picture that isn't showing the dog at its best, that can hurt the movement. If you keep taking him to the show and he keeps getting his head knocked in by, these dogs because he's not of caliber, like you said, maybe it's better to just take the champion win.
Bam.
And
go with it.
And then go there. But you gotta be real with yourself. You gotta have like a real understanding of where the breed is at. The gene pool and the standard, and then where each one of your dogs fits in that realm. Because like too many people get caught up thinking everything they got is the shit.
No.
And it's like some of your stuff might be the shit, but other stuff that you have might be just shit.
It's pure shit. Yeah.
So like you gotta differentiate that. And when you're campaigning a dog, if you champ him and you've got good traction, then continue.
Yeah.
And if it's one that you're not sure of, then maybe attempt with the judges that have already showed to use him and see something in him. And then if you get those, then continue, kind of base it on the momentum.
Yeah.
That was like the thing with Bistro, like where they were dumping him a lot, dude.
Yeah.
And I just like after he had won the first year, it's like they wanted me to retire him, but I was like, nah, like he's fucking, he's there, like he's quality, like you ain't gonna continue to deny this dog. So I kept bringing him out.
Yeah.
And Bistro, there were he did take some defeats.
Yeah.
But I felt like the consistency and the generational greatness was, and when I say generational, I just mean like the greatness over the years made it worth it for me in that regard. But like with a dog,
I mean you don't win 2 back-to-backs at no point like that, and then be a third at number 2. So it's like. Even that taking some defeats, you're taking defeats, but you're also competing at the highest level there is.
Yeah.
You're going to every major show in the city. You're not picking the minor ones or the small ones or only running to the ones where people are at. Like, you're running to, like, okay, that top dog's there, let me go there. Let me run to this top dog. Let me match this. You were, every show, you were stopping with another dog or multiple dogs in the top 10. So it wasn't like you were against mediocre. These people, some people are just going to local shows where they don't even see a top 10 sometimes out there.
Right.
You know, because the show's so small. And then they're, you know, claiming back it's a great champ and everything else, which, you know, won up on points, but it doesn't own that whole title as hard as anybody. That's why nobody knows he's a champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it rolls. Like, and then, like, you know, the what you did with Bus, that instantly shocked people coming right out. I think that opened up a lot of people's eyes on the next level of what he was when he won nationals. You know what I mean? And then, you know, you bred him from there with some of the dogs because, you know, Bistro down the Bus. Now from there, there's some other dogs now that you're out there with fresh locally that carries on the crowns from them two. Yeah. You know, rest in peace to both of them. But what's some of the next? What bred out of Bus to produce the next levels of what you have there? Like, name some of them dogs too.
Yeah. At this point, a lot of the stuff that we're working with is grandkids of Bus or Bistro. Yeah. And a lot of the work that we did over the course of the years and generations of selective breeding, I've gotten to some of these phenotypes that I'm working with today. Yep. The most recent one that we've gotten active with in the show ring is Bad Man.
Bad Man, yeah.
And he's from a Bus son. Okay. And then his mom is Mocha, who is from a... I could give the whole pedigree breakdown, I mean, if you want.
Whatever you want. I mean, we're here. The dogs is where we're at, brother. We're here for the dogs, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, because... Plus, you know what? A lot of these new guys, they might not know that. So it's good to give them a little insight on that part with the breakdown, the ped of that, because that's what you're having out now. So this is what randomly is available, because there's no, you know, the sperm for Bus or Bistro is no more. You know what I mean? Like, to the outside. Yeah. To the outside. I know to you, and then I get one. To me, I get a Bus straw. You know what I'm saying? You know. But no, I mean, because both of them dogs, you know, all the stuff I have seen, it looks phenomenal. So it's not like it looks great. So to me, you know, with Nubs and you guys starting back out in the ring, it's good for these guys to really put, you know, a pedigree to it, because some of these guys need to understand what these pedigrees are about, you know?
Yeah, so the breakdown on Bad Man, he's the dog that we've been showing lately. He's from Bandit and Mocha. Okay. And Bandit is from Bus and Lavish. All right. Lavish is from, we bred Phenom to a Bistro daughter. Okay. And that Bistro daughter was from Bistro to Ofari. OGSS Ofari. Ofari, yep. And she was line bred 3 times, Tonka female. Yeah. So some heavy Rock and Ruby with some Nemesis in there. And then she had the real Rock and Ruby look on in the face. So
shout out to Ray, Memo, Boom, all them double S dudes and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that Bistro and Ofari female, I bred to Phenom. I took a female from that. I bred it to Bus. Mm-hmm. That's what produced Bandit. Bam. The sire to
Bad Man.
Bad Man. Yep. And then Mocha is the mom of Bad Man. Mm-hmm. And then Mocha is off of Black Phoenix and Brown Sugar. Okay. And Brown Sugar is a Bus daughter. Yep. Bus bred to a dog named Smurf. Okay. And then Black Phoenix was a Phenom son. So Black Phoenix to Brown Sugar. That's Mocha's.
That's Mocha.
And Black Phoenix is Phenom and Candy. Okay. Grand Champion Candy, which was a Bistro daughter. Yeah. So I bred Bistro to a Kai daughter. Bam. Kai bred to Nemesis. Bred to Genesis.
Yeah. Which Kai is Low Rose brother. So that's boom. That's how you got that there with that whole thing. Which that was Texas' huge dog at that time. Texas loved Kai. You know what I mean?
Kai, I mean,
And he was all over down there. You know,
I got some good stuff from that.
From the Kai, yeah. We talked about that earlier. That little Road Blood, that whole thing, and everything like that.
That goes back to some of the dogs that Big Rich put me on to.
Bam.
So you know, even on the even Homie, he put me on to Homie, but then he also put me on to this Kai bitch, who I really, you know, we're gonna hear in this breakdown of this pedigree, like it goes back to her, in multiple ways. So yeah, Black Phoenix, the Mocha, the mom of Bad Man is off Black Phoenix and Brown Sugar, and Black Phoenix is the Candy, which is the bistro to the Kai daughter.
Okay.
You know, and then Brown Sugar, like I told you, was from Bus and Smurf, right?
Yeah.
And Smurf was from that same bistro daughter,
okay,
Candy.
Yeah.
Off bistro bred to Licorice, which is the Kai female.
Yeah.
Kai and Genesis, which was a daughter of Samson.
Samson from Devil's Den. Bam.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like some heavy foundation shit.
Heavy shit right there. It's crazy.
And so I took so we're going to the mom. So Candy was bred to Exhibit to produce Smurf. The Exhibit, which was Excalibur and Gina Jules.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you could see Candy was bred to Phenom, and that was, you know, I worked Phoenix, and then I also bred her to Exhibit, and, you know, I worked Smurf.
Yeah.
And so when I brought them together, you know, that's how I got Mocha.
Yeah.
And then Mocha the Bandit produced
Bad Man.
Bad Man. And then I have another dog named Bando, who is from Bus, bred to Mocha's littermate's sister.
Bam.
So, real nice phenotype, real similar to Bus. And you know, you heard the breakdown on the pet. It goes back to like a lot of my breedings.
Yeah.
And I've been taking Bad Man to some of Bando's daughters.
Okay.
And like the puppies that I showed you.
Yeah, them pups out there. Yeah, them pups are crazy.
Yeah, this from.
We'll have to get the videos of them too. We'll put them on there.
Yeah.
Because I know we got the yard, but I forgot to get the videos of the pups. Show these guys, and we'll get some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys will have that. It'll all be in there in the interview. You will see it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're crazy looking too. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty deep on like all the stuff that I just explained to you.
Yeah, and that's bringing everything to the forefront right now of all your past. And I mean, there were some heavy hitters in it. I'm not gonna lie. That pet is definitely heavy. And the way them pups look, they look crazy. And the way that all the dogs look, Bando, Batman, all them, crazy looking dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I mean, the future is going to look bright. I'm excited that you're still here, rocking hard with all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And I know there's a lot of other stuff out there going on with Bully Market and everything. You got like the NFTs, the cards, and all that stuff. Give everybody a quick little, rundown on that. Besides the dogs, I mean, we could be here talking dogs for days, but we got to do, like we said, we're gonna hear multiple times because I'm always here anyway. So we're gonna add in because we talked off camera what the more future push on that is, and I don't want to explode out on too much of that yet. You know what I mean? I was, like in the Bully Market style, I like the surprises that happen for y'all. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I love it like that. So that's why some videos we had to cut early. We're like, hold on, we talked too much. Let's hurry. So, some of that we'll leave to that. So we'll roll into the Bully Market, like I said before, like my kennel and all of us, it's some kennels that have outside stuff going on besides just the dogs. That, it stemmed it from the dogs or however. It's all in the same culture related. And, the NFTs are big nowadays. The trading cards is huge. I know that. You got the Bully Market clothing. Your girls constantly, with the tights and all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Everything like that. And, the shirts you guys drop. I still didn't get my bus shirt yet. I'm still waiting for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's okay. They treat me like Kunta Kinte, but it's all good.
So yeah, I mean, we're working on all that stuff, man, and part of why even the name Bully Market, I named it that because in the beginning, when I decided to breed, I had a much bigger vision than just to breed and produce puppies.
Yeah.
I didn't foresee the end being producing pups.
Yeah.
You know, that was just the beginning. I foresaw people in, that might be Wall Street. I really, that was what I thought in my head. Wall Street guys wearing Bully Market polos.
Bam.
And you would see the little logo. And at the time, I didn't have a very good logo. I don't think I have it handy. Yeah. I had maybe I do.
It looks like the bull market kind of thing.
Well, it's just like a shield.
Yep. Yeah, I remember the original one. Yeah.
And it's a cool design, but it's not very brandable.
No, but it's like a crest. That's like a crest. Yeah, like a crest.
Couldn't put that on a polo shirt.
Yeah.
So the end goal was just a lot bigger than just dogs, producing dogs. Mm-hmm. The dogs was kind of like, something I was interested in, and like the vehicle. I feel like the content, and the content draws people in. The lifestyle, it draws people in. Yeah. But then there's so much more to every person that's into dogs. You could be the most dog man, and you still got to wear some clothes. Some gear, you got some other stuff going on.
You're gonna rock it.
And so we've just done different things. But yeah, that's why I didn't put kennels in my name.
Yeah.
Because I felt like Bully Market more brandable than such and such with a kennel at the end. You know what I mean? How could my brand be huge when it's a kennel?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you mention things like NFTs and the cards and gear and things like that,
even the cannabis and stuff like that.
Cannabis, it's all stuff that we're just kind of layering into the brand.
Yeah. And
utilizing the following that and the work that we've already done, the sweat equity that we put in the bully world. And we know the bully world is rich in culture.
Oh, it is. It's. I think it's one of the probably richest of cultures of all of them. Besides, it's hard. You can't.
How can you compare to anything?
You can't compare
because it's worldwide.
It's worldwide, and it's like it's from the streets all the way up to the millionaires. There's millionaires that's involved with it, down to like there's still hustlers on the street that are involved with it. So sometimes their pocket is as big as the big guy. Like it's so across and so big now.
Yeah.
I think we have suppressed a lot of the other ones. Like AKC. Don't get me wrong, they do have a lot of millionaires in there, but it's we count how many people totals involved. And how many there is just regular mom and pops in there and not all the millionaires.
Right.
We suppress it, I think, as a total value because the dogs we're selling and prices are we are next to horses. There's horses, then there's American Bullies, then there's the rest of you guys.
Brother.
Even like training canines, some of them dogs, these guys are working years into it and they're only getting $20,000 or $10,000 for a dog. Where I keep a dog, you keep a dog for 6 months to a year, that fucking thing's selling for the same price without even a quarter of the work or money put into it.
Right.
To them, because of the market is so huge on our end over there.
Well, we got horses, and my breeding.
Well, I know you got horses. You got
my breeding stock for a bully.
Yeah.
If I sell a bully, a nice bully,
bam,
or a nice horse, my dog is gonna go for more.
100%.
Like, so we're on a crazy level.
Yeah. When
it comes to this breed and the prices they go for.
Yeah.
But just as far as the people that are interested in them, hip hop culture, athlete culture,
major athlete culture.
Lots of other countries.
Yeah.
Countries that are also rich in culture.
Riches up, keep it going.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, you know, continuing to build on that bully market brand and bring value to the bully community. That's part of another reason why, you know, aside from just doing something for my own brand, it's like I'm trying to do something that also brings the overall value to the community. I know I succeeded in that because when Bistro died, go to the comments of the post that I made,
crazy, and
count how many people said, I got into bullies because of you.
Exactly.
I got into bullies because of this dog.
Yeah.
And bro, I worked so hard putting Bistro out there for everybody to see and telling Bistro's story and putting him in all the like little cute shirts and clothes and
everything.
Like I made sure he was the best
Dodger
show
hat
dog.
Stuff, the Ram shit.
Like
it's like as I'm saying at the stadiums, it's like it's like fucking
like Bistro did it all.
Yeah, he did.
He produced elite.
Yeah.
He showed elite.
Yeah.
And he lived like a fucking legend.
He did.
Like we didn't even mention all the cannabis cups he went to.
No, that's what I mean.
I made so many connections and hitters in the cannabis game know about Bistro. Who love and respect Bistro.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he was the only American bully going to cannabis cups consistently. All these guys, they be paying $4,000 for a 10x10 booth.
That's what I mean.
Like to go sell their cannabis. We would go pay $4,000 for a 10x10 booth and just sit there with dogs.
The dogs. That's what I mean.
We would stand out.
It was huge, but that's where the big log in. Because in the beginning, that's what we used to do: going to the dub shows, the hot important nights, the pet expos, all that stuff, and. You know, doing that, it suppresses the dogs. Like that's what people have to start thinking that far past on what they're doing. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna grab us another water right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, that was all just part of the execution on, you know, the bigger picture for the brand and for the breed. I feel like there's so much potential even still yet to be tapped into. So I feel like every time I do something in these little cross markets that I'm interested in and I tie them to the brand, it's like I'm trying to like tap into this little niche.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the cards, I was into the cards way before I was ever into
the because we all have hobbies, and that's what some of the collections you just showed me, you could tell that wasn't just a quick bass. That's somebody that knows for years and years. You know, it's like little kids, we trade cards or comic books. So some of that comes all over. You know, I still have comic books. That's why I'm huge on art. Like we were talking about King Saladin and all them other dudes I know and stuff. Because I'm big on art because that was something we used to spray paint and tag back in the day. So that's still huge on me now. That's why like the mural was big to have that and film. And the NFTs. I've been learning a lot of that because of course I'm always into currency and culture.
Yeah.
But the development of it. Have you guys that watch it? It's great to support that. The cards, like I said, the cannabis thing, the Bully Market Farm and everything like that.
Yeah.
That thing was huge, seeing everything grow. So, you have definitely spawned off a large amount of making the name super popular, super huge. The dogs actually fit the boat. Like, sometimes people have a huge name and the dogs don't fit the boat. Like, you still are that hard digging in the trench like we are, producing them top dogs, grabbing that next dog constantly. Okay, this was good, but how can I make better? Okay, that was good. How can I make better? How can I? And that's what the game is. And like we explained, some of the stuff how people listen in the lab, the showing, the different, mindset and everything like that.
Yeah.
And big ups, bro. Like I said, I know there's so much more. We'll continue that. There will be a part 2. This is just a part 1 of the interview out here. The next ones we'll start digging a little bit deeper. Some of the other stuff will be probably done by then, so we can dig into that.
Yeah.
And then, appreciate the hospitality. Of course, having me out here, staying the whole 9. How do we do here?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate you having me on, and all the people watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And what he's doing we can't overlook the value as a community, because if the people don't put in the effort and the energy and the time and the money to do like what he's doing, what you're doing, it's going to get lost.
Yeah.
Because every year, every couple years, you know, more of the old people quit, and then more new people come.
Yeah.
And so there's the history of the breed is important.
Yeah.
We can't lose that.
Nah.
And so, you know, not only for the culture, but for, you know, the knowledge and how we can produce the best dogs possible.
Exactly.
So, you know, I appreciate the show that you're doing because all the marketing that I've done, all the things that I do, it's also to bring value to the community.
Yeah.
And so when I see you doing this, traveling all the way from over there,
boom,
and having all these guests and doing that, it's bringing major value to the community.
Yeah.
So if you guys want this bully thing to last, you need to share videos like this.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I'm on it.
Yeah.
But go if you got something against me, then go to every other video he's got and share those ones.
Yeah.
It's about, you know, you're on a mission here, and you're telling the story, and you've been around longer than me of this community. So
and that's what we really want to push on this. That's why, like, not everything, like, I enjoy Cali. You'll see some views of the pictures or photos of me just taking in the sunsets and the bears up here. It's a beautiful area, but that's why as soon as I landed yesterday, I didn't even sit down. I didn't even go to a hotel. I literally jumped in. Oscar took me to his house, jumped in his car. I was like, yo, I'm out, because he's taking care of, you know, he has a show this weekend and everything else. And I was like, I'm out. I called you. I was like, yo, Rob, I'm coming. And then, you know, we got here, and then the plane got bigger. And I was like, shit. You're like, well, just crash here. I was like, all right, fuck it. And then now it's the next day. We filmed all day yesterday, way through. We're going to go, you know, the nubs are everywhere. We're all over. And people get to see, and then even the conversation. Like, originally I was like, all right, well, you know, we'll do this. Now it's like a whole episode. Now it's a whole bully market episode, just because there's so much that people need to hear from you guys on the whole showmanship. I mean, look at the trophies. You know, you'll see a lot of, like, the paintings. You'll see a lot of stuff that we're talking about through this video. But what you guys have done, people need to hear about. And like you said, a lot of them old people need to hear about. Like Ray from Certified, you know, Rich, even though Rich is wild, whatever, him, Fabian, Pratt needs to be, you know, I'm get Pratt on here. All them guys, because, you know, these guys, they have so much wealth from there. And then, like I said, if it's not documented nowhere, there's no books on it. There's no books. Atomic Dog is done, so there's a gap at a time when you know, stuff didn't happen. And it's like, even then, you know, it's hard to even get Atomic Dogs. Like we said, we hold on to the ones we have now because you can't, they're not reprinting, you know what I mean? No. So it's like, you can't just be selling them and getting rid of them no more because there's nowhere else to get them at. So now it's like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then that's where, like, the aspect comes, and that's where these people are not understanding. And that's what I'm really putting forward in. It's not, I could have easily just went and be like, all right, I'm going to do live and just sit at shows and just do that. To me, the shows are good, but the shows still need a lot coming back to where it's like excellent, you know, but for the time being, bring them the best parts of the show, and then meanwhile, a lot of history on these dogs. People are spending major money on these dogs. They need to know where it came from, what it's about, than other people just saying, oh, it needs to be like before. A lot of people are just saying that before and don't explain into it. They weren't there. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you can't pick up a Atomic Dog magazine and see somebody in one of these, then they weren't there in the beginning. I don't care what anybody says. You know? You were, the shows and everything in the beginning was more tight, and it was less shows, and it was all one umbrella. Where now it's multiple umbrellas, you can get away like, oh, I only go to this show or that show. But if you're saying OG, you have to be in one of these mags. If you're not in one of these mags, you're not an OG. It's just period and point blank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of people just don't comprehend the difference in the level of the community and the shows back then. You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, I think that it could get back there.
Yeah, it can. It will. And it will. You know what I mean?
And you know, and I think it's going to take work, but, you know, showing people that it can be done and what is actually possible
is the best.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's all there. It's documented.
Yeah. It's going to be documented now. We're going to majorly hit on it.
You were at shows where there was 5,000 people.
Exactly.
2,000, 3,000, 4,000.
In the middle of it, ring taking it and everything like that. You know, we've been through the trenches. I've seen it all from all angles, like every which way of it. Like, you know,
and it's nothing's dying out when you go to Google and you go to Google Trends. Go to Google Trends and type in the American Bully. And you will see the interest continues to rise
all the way up.
Globally, internationally.
Yeah.
It's not going down. It's going up.
It's going
so
up.
there's no reason for our show attendance not to be going up too.
Exactly.
You know, even though there's a lot of fracturing and different...
It still should all go up. It should be the amount of thousands and so many people involved, it should be going up. You know,
if you're throwing shows, you'd be doing something to bring the value into the eyeballs.
You have
to your people that are coming to support your shit than more than a little ribbon.
It's only going to make them more money. If they set up a hotel weekend, they set up like a dinner or a party or anything, even if they don't go to it, they just have it set up for us to go to, and people going there, more people are going to come and be there for a full weekend. These weekends cost us $1,000 or more regardless.
Yeah.
It's a G-Bone, you're taking a dog, you're showing it and everything else. You're a G-Bone whether you're driving or flying, I don't care, you're one way or another, food, travel, dog, you're a G-Bone.
Yeah,
so at that portion,
$1,000.
let me at least have like something to do at night, daytime, or whatever else. So I'm there to be entertained or worth my money. And you will see more people's going to gravitate there than other shows where you don't even see it advertised at all. You know?
Right. Well, and you mentioned the NFTs and stuff like that. One of the big things that makes the NFTs hot is the communities.
Exactly.
And there's this little, this whole thing with the communities of these NFTs, but Bully World been had community.
Bam! All
We've been doing community for decades,
for a long time. Yeah.
So we need to maintain, despite the differences in. Dang, you breeding Merles, you breeding the exotics. You do ABKC.
Yeah.
You're like at the end of the day, without the dogs and the breed, it's all nothing.
It's all nothing.
The registry, we don't need the registry. The registry needs the dogs.
Exactly.
And we need to have a breed if we want to have
the dogs in the community, in the show, and everything else.
And I feel like you're right that the more little things that we could do to maybe raise the camaraderie in the community, then maybe we will see, more of that going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I think that when it is all separated out, some dogs might be overlooked or some potential, for example, you mentioned Ty Lumley.
Yeah.
Like when I was just showing dogs, like me and him, it was competition, bro.
Constantly.
I wasn't trying to he had Fran, I had Bistro.
Man.
Like this ain't chit chat. Be friends. Like I'm coming for the dub.
Bam.
You know what I'm saying?
All day.
But then when it came down to me and him enjoying some food and some drinks in the Philippines, because we were both judging, it was a little different energy and environment.
Yeah.
And then that was when we got to talk dogs. And
a lot of breedings went down. Maestro,
you know what I'm saying?
Buzz Jr. You
know what I'm saying?
All that boom.
Like a lot of boom happened after that.
Bam. That's
and
it.
So it's just when the hosts get together, those things like you were saying that brings the people together more, and just keeps us more tight knit.
Yeah.
Than whether it's a breeding going down or just the movement staying more unified.
Bam.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's if we can get more people attending the shows, that's great too.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of what was one of the things that got me bit by the bully bug was the shows.
The shows.
And I was always a competitive kid in sports and stuff.
Yeah, the shows where it was at, man.
But the shows was like, man, I really liked to go and compete, but I also, the shows were so popping with like the extracurricular activities as far as major booth setups,
Bam.
parties,
The whole nine.
Like, and the whole vibe was like, dang, this.
That's where the day came in with set up the day before. Some people still say it, and nobody shows up because they're only bringing little booths. But the whole day before thing was because people were moving in with moving trucks and like furniture companies dropping and stuff. The Rent a Center was there, like it was crazy. Like you had to set up the whole day and then break down the day after. Right. Nowadays, people are just putting up a banner in the minimums or a tent and that's it, which is cool. But you got to showcase your dog too. Bring the dogs back out. Yeah. Have the people taking photo moments where you have a stack of the dogs, 4 or 5 people abreast or something like that. Like bring that back, and you'll see a lot more of because a picture moves a million places. Definitely now with internet, it's moving like a fucking lightning fire all over the place. So you don't know somebody's platform or where he's posting that at, and where it'll end up, and what it'll bring back to that show. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I've been guilty of just pulling up and popping the easy up and just showing my dog, just point chasing.
Yeah.
But ultimately it was for a bigger picture,
yeah.
Which was a grander promotion. But if I could do it all over again, I would have loved to documented Bistro much better. Yeah. I would have loved to have a much greater presence at the actual show, similar to the way the guys would have the booths back in the day. But bro, I didn't have bankroll like that. No. I was scraping my money together just to get the dog to the next show.
Exactly.
Like I said, 4 straight years of campaigning. Nah. That means every weekend. And you just said $1,000 a week per show. Do the math on that.
At the time back then, I used to be vice president of WBA. And I seen it, a yearly note. People were like, "How are you guys moving a group this big and everything else? Oh, you guys have big."
They're at the gate right now.
60,000. Oh, all right. Well, then look, we'll wrap up. We're done. Look, we got people coming here. You got other stuff. I think there might be Skip, Oscar, and them. So we'll wrap up. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Crazy interview. It'll be a part 2. And
big things on the horizon.
Bully Market.
The OG's
check them out.
Pulling
if you don't
up.
know who they are, make sure you check it out.
Yeah, we're going to have you on my show.
Bam, it's going to be part of it. Like I said, this is a hub. He's going to be more in here. You're going to see Rob now at a different angle. He might be interviewing other people or other stuff, but he's part of the whole thing too. So you'll see it in there, and that's another thing we've been working on. But he has his own show. But here in the ring is a hub for everybody. Ty has he has Bull in a China shop, and then Bully the Kid has his own thing. So a lot of people don't know that's going to be part of it. But it's down, brother. It's good to go. Good episode. Let's get it.
Let's go. All right, yeah, we're right here at the Bully Market looking at some of our sports packs that we got. We got here the Baller Packs. This is a super exclusive drop, 100 packs. And in the 100 packs, 90 of the cards were graded. Damn. So you got a 90% chance of pulling a BGS 9.5 or a PSA 10 graded card in there. Guys like Pat Mahomes, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe. There's
any reason to see it.
Loaded with fire.
Dude, that's crazy.
This one's $420. This is the starter pack for more beginner collectors. And like I said, $420. If it's a little bit out of your range, you got the starter pack right here. This one's I think $80, and it's got 3 cards.
3 cards.
Yeah, 3 cards in it, and they're from street artists.
Okay.
A bunch of there was a Project 2020, Project 70.
Yeah.
And Topps worked with these street artists, and they recreated a bunch of iconic Topps cards.
Boom.
So
that's just mainly all in the starter pack.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and
crazy.
Grab yourself a starter pack.
Well, I mean, from Philly, who I know from in there, you know what I mean? I think you got a little, where I'm at. You see what I'm wearing? He was part of that starter pack.
In fact, yeah, Saladin, King Saladin, he is in on this project.
So he's in here too.
He could be. Go ahead. See if you.
We're just gonna open up one.
Yeah, let's see what you did there.
Let's open it up. Let's see what's in this thing.
Don't forget about the Lakers Legends.
Oh yeah, we got some Lakers Legends packs here too. 17 packs in the Lakers Legends drop. To represent the 17 championships won.
Damn, I like the car right there. That is nice.
Got a little discount.
You like that? Who's this one right here?
You got Jackie Robinson. Tyson Beck.
Of course. Tyson Beck. Oh, Willie Mays.
Don C.
That.
and then a natural Ichiro.
Ichiro, yeah.
So no Saladin. He didn't get the
That's
King Saladin, but
That's
you know,
I
I know you're a Saladin fan. So.
Philly on Philly. You know how we do, right
Yeah.
there representing.
That's
I appreciate that.
It's
That's
not a
crazy.
Phillies card, but
Nah, but it's still
It is
an
by the
artist.
Philly legend.
Yeah, that's it, by the legend. Always rocking stuff, real cool. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
So yeah,
You're local
man.
now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Boom. Be sure if you're into these cards, check them out. Bully Market, baby.
That's right. We'll be having more sports cards, memorabilia, and all sorts of action coming soon. Stay tuned.
Bam. All right, we're done.
Bad man, he represented. Bully Market had to come support the show. Bring one of our top phenotypes here. All banded and mocha. Heavy Bully Market right here, baby.
Damn.